Two people can walk into the same storm and walk out with completely different lives. One says, "This ruined me." The other says, "This built me." Same storm, same rain, same chaos. Different reality. That is not luck. That is not privilege. That is mindset. And if you do not understand this, you will keep trying to change your life without ever changing the lens through which you see it. Most people think reality is something that happens to them. They think circumstances shape identity. They think events decide outcomes. But what if the order is reversed? What if your mindset shapes your interpretation? Your interpretation shapes your actions. Your actions shape your habits, and your habits quietly build your entire reality. Let me show you how this works. Imagine two people lose their job on the same day. The first person thinks, "This proves I am not good enough. The market is unfair. Nothing works out for me." The second person thinks, "This is painful. But this is information. I need new skills. I need a better strategy." One mindset creates paralysis. The other creates movement. Over 6 months, their realities look completely different. Not because the event was different, because the belief about the event was different. Your brain does not respond to reality. It responds to your interpretation of reality. That is the psychological truth most people never learn. Your mindset is the filter through which every experience passes, and filters distort. If your filter says, "I am unlucky," your brain will scan for proof of bad luck. It will ignore opportunity. It will magnify obstacles. If your filter says, "I am capable," your brain will scan for solutions. It will see patterns. It will detect chances others miss. This is not just motivation. This is neuroscience. Your brain has something called a reticular activating system. It decides what information gets your attention, and it listens to your dominant beliefs. If you constantly think, "I am bad at public speaking," your brain will highlight every mistake you make while ignoring every moment you did well. If you think, "I can improve at public speaking," your brain will search for feedback, techniques, and examples to model. Same world, different focus, different results. Here is the part that makes this powerful. Your mindset does not just influence what you notice. It influences how your body reacts. If you believe a situation is a threat, your nervous system activates stress mode. Heart rate increases, breathing shortens, muscles tense, thinking narrows. If you believe a situation is a challenge, your body still activates energy, but with control. You feel alert instead of overwhelmed. The event did not change. Your interpretation changed your biology. Now imagine living years under a mindset of threat. Every opportunity feels risky. Every conversation feels like judgment. Every setback feels permanent. Your nervous system stays on edge. Your decisions shrink. Your risks decrease. That becomes your reality. But change the belief, and you change the reaction. This is why two students can take the same exam and respond differently to failure. One says, "I am not capable. This is proof." The other says, "I need a new method. This is feedback." One protects ego. The other builds skill. One avoids. The other adapts. 5 years later, their realities reflect those patterns. Mindset is not positive thinking. 'Tis the meaning you assign to events. And meaning drives behavior. Let me give you a deeper example. Imagine someone growing up hearing, "People cannot be trusted." That belief becomes a lens. Every delayed reply feels suspicious. Every mistake feels intentional. Every disagreement feels like betrayal. The person becomes guarded, defensive, distant. Eventually, relationships break down, and the belief strengthens. See, I was right. But what if the belief was, trust is built through consistency? Now the person looks for patterns instead of single incidents. They communicate instead of assuming. They give space for misunderstanding. The same world produces different relationship outcomes. Mindset quietly scripts behavior. and behavior builds patterns. Patterns become life. There is something even more powerful happening beneath the surface. Your brain tries to stay consistent with your identity. If your identity says, "I am not disciplined," your actions will align with that. Even if you attempt change, you will unconsciously undermine it to remain consistent with who you think you are. If your identity says, "I am someone who finishes what I start," your brain will feel discomfort when you quit. That discomfort pushes you to complete tasks. Identity-driven mindset shapes daily micro-decisions, and micro-decisions compound. You do not wake up one day accomplished or stuck. You wake up the result of repeated beliefs acted out over time. This is why some people stay stuck, even when opportunities exist. They do not lack opportunity. They lack an internal framework that allows them to see themselves succeeding. If deep down you believe success is for other people, you will hesitate at the moment that matters. If you believe growth is possible, you will take uncomfortable steps. Mindset changes risk tolerance, and risk tolerance changes trajectory. There is another layer: confirmation bias. Your brain loves being right, even when being right limits you. If you believe "I always fail," your brain will collect evidence. You will replay mistakes. You will ignore wins. If you believe "I learn quickly," your brain will highlight improvement. You will track progress. You become what you repeatedly confirm. That is why changing mindset feels uncomfortable at first. You are challenging your internal evidence system. But here's the truth. Reality is not purely objective. It is experienced subjectively. Two people in the same room can feel entirely different emotions based on past beliefs. Two entrepreneurs can launch the same product. One sees obstacles as proof to quit. The other sees them as part of the process. One reality stalls. The other evolves. This does not mean mindset removes difficulty. It means mindset determines how you engage with difficulty. Life will bring stress, loss, failure, uncertainty. But your interpretation of those events determines whether they shrink you or sharpen you. If you see failure as identity, you retreat. If you see failure as data, you adjust. If you see criticism as attack, you defend. If you see criticism as information, you refine. If you see effort as pointless, you procrastinate. If you see effort as investment, you persist. The external world responds to internal patterns. And here is the most empowering part. Mindset is not fixed. It is trained. Just like attention. Just like discipline. Just like emotional regulation. You can start by questioning one dominant belief. Ask yourself, what story am I telling about this situation? Is it absolutely true? Or is it an interpretation shaped by past experience? Then replace it with a more constructive belief that still respects reality. Not everything works out easily, but everything can teach. Not everyone supports you, but someone will if you build value. Not every attempt succeeds, but every attempt builds skill. This shift sounds small. It is not. Over time, it changes posture, tone, energy, decision-making, risk-taking, relationships, opportunities. It changes what you notice. It changes what you pursue. It changes what you tolerate. And eventually, it changes what you achieve. Your mindset determines your reality because it determines your focus, your emotion, your action, and your consistency. Change the filter, and the world looks different. Change the belief, and behavior follows. Change behavior repeatedly, and life shifts. The storm will still come. But whether you see it as destruction or construction is up to the lens you choose. If this made you rethink how you see your own life, comment below with one belief you are ready to upgrade. Like this video if you believe mindset shapes destiny. And subscribe if you are committed to building a stronger internal framework for the life you want.